Hey there, everybody. Welcome to our Beacon 23 Season 1, Episode 7 and 8, the finale, reaction and review. Oh my. Wow.
I know. These episodes were really good. I really enjoyed them. It was nice to see all the different timelines all kind of tied together through Bart.
Yeah.
It was really well put together. I'm really excited for season 2. I mean, this has been renewed if you
Yeah.
guys don't already know. So we're going to be getting more of the show. Don't know when yet, but
Yeah.
it's coming.
Look at you guys redeeming yourselves. I'm not going to say that I loved every single part of these 2 episodes, but at the same time, this is such a massive step over what I think was one of the weaker episodes that they've had last week. I think they really put a lot of time and a lot of effort into paying a lot of things off. Like, you wanted a big dramatic surprise. You got it, and you got it in multiple different ways, which I think is really exciting for a show like this. Like, there's been so many big swings this season. I think they've paid some of them off. I am still desperate and angry about the stupid rocks. I still want more information at a certain point.
No, they have to save something for next season.
Can you guys just throw the rocks at my head at this point? Like, I might be better off at this point, because I've been losing my mind about these things for months, and now you're just like, okay, now you're gonna wait for some predetermined amount of time until we bring the show back, and who knows, maybe we'll give you answers then, or maybe not.
But before we get too much further into the review, be sure to hit that subscribe button. It really helps support Matt and I here at the channel. And we have a lot of other really fun shows that we're covering right now, like Fargo and Reacher, and True Detective is coming up early in the new year. Fallout next year. Oh man, I cannot wait for that show. So yeah, be sure to hit that subscribe button and stick with us.
On Monday, we have a live stream coming at our Patreon. We have a link in the description below. We are talking all about Beacon 23. We are going to get all into these theories about what in the world is going on here. How did this show keeps going after these just big jaw droppers? And thank you as well to everyone who has supported us over there on Patreon. These lives are so much fun.
Yeah, that Beacon live stream is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Okay. The big question.
Yep.
Aster. Is she gone? Is she dead? Is Aster Dunzo? What do you think?
Yeah, is Aster dead? This cliffhanger was so well done because of how it happened. Now, we had Kier there, who's, basically the space Jared Leto, who's showing up, who's like, oh, the meaning of this, and we're all like, you're the next coming kind of thing. And he ends up shooting her, and she falls back and she hits her head extremely badly and is laying on the floor with so much blood coming out of the back of her head that I was like, they killed her. It feels like they killed her. However, in this show, death doesn't always mean death. We saw that with Milan and him coming back as Olive with that beautiful hair, that you can find ways to kind of live forever in this world. So could Aster come back as an AI or, merge further in some sort of way with the rocks? Like, yes, I think we're still going to see her, but is she going to be in this exact form with that much blood loss? I truly don't know, which is like crazy to me. I mean, we've seen some shows kill off their main characters or big characters before, but like, wow, like that would really be a big swing.
Yeah, Lena Headey's the biggest star this show has, and Stefan James is great, and he's been in some other stuff like Homecoming, but we're talking about a star of Game of Thrones. Like, this is a pretty big loss if this is the final episode that we're seeing her. Like, kind of like you're saying, there's a lot of ways though that Aster can come back. I think she will in some shape or form. Like, the medical part of this is pretty dicey, because it's not exactly like there is a crack team of surgeons and doctors at Beacon 23 who are going to be able to help her after all of this. I kind of wonder, okay, maybe she will come back in some sort of shape or form, and maybe they'll find a way to repair what's happened here. But because she did hit her head, like, even if she does come back and she's not like an AI and she's not like some other form, like there's probably a lot of memory loss that would be associated with this sort
Yeah.
of injury. So is she even going to be able to remember everything that's happened?
Yeah, like the people or AIs that I feel like could have helped her are like all gone, right?
Yeah.
Like Milan, Olive, I guess we'll call him Olive now, that he's not there right now while this is all happening. Harmony has gone with him because she's like, listen, like, I'm loyal to you, Aster, but like, he is the person who's like, I'm property of QTA. Like, I
Yeah.
have to be loyal to, the company. That's kind of just how I'm programmed. And Bart
Uh,
is no longer with the show. He is no longer alive. That was really heartbreaking. Like, I love the Bart character. You've
yeah.
been watching all our reviews. Like, he is my favorite character. He's so complex. I love that they made an AI this complex and feel this many things. And for him to learn that Solomon had erased all of his memories from before, everything with Aster, just everything from before. He really felt an emptiness in him that he just couldn't get past. Like, watching him self destruct was like, it really choked me up.
Yeah, I think this idea is one of the most heartbreaking ideas that you can put on this show. The idea of, oh, I've been forgotten as the person that I was, or in Bart's case, as the
No.
AI that I was. And to learn all of that, and to also learn that Solomon, somebody who, you had some sort of level of care for, to the extent that you have been spending all season pointing at Halen and being like, "You're a killer. I hate you. You are the worst." It's like, oh, actually, the person you have been protecting, Bart, was really the worst because they took everything away from you. I love how they paid off this question that we have been wondering for a little while now, which is why is Bart not bringing up a lot of the stuff that happened before? And as it turns out, there is a pretty reasonable reason why this didn't happen. And it really kind of goes into a lot of what this finale is saying, where, there's that phrase, the truth will set you free. Nobody wants to be set free on this show. Everybody keeps trying to disguise the truth, whether it is they're afraid of what the truth will do, or they just don't want the truth out because it is so dangerous to themselves. Like, there's a lot going on here, but even at the end of the episode, with everything that's going on with Kier and with Aster and this cliffhanger, like, there's all this talk about, like, a message. Like, what is the message? What's going to come out here? We still don't know the message.
Okay, we need to talk about Kier because this was, for me, he was kind of the weakest part of the episode. And it's just because, we've met him before having a beer with Bart where he was there to destroy the beacon. And, he was sort of part of this collective of people that wanted to bring humans together and sort of stop AI and kind of move in this other direction and get closer to now that he knew about this artifact. And then we see him, years later where he's like, yeah, Bart basically put me in jail for 10 years, but now I'm here looking all Jared Leto leading this
Yeah.
whole group of people sort of thing. I was like, okay, all right, this all makes sense. I'm buying what you're selling. Let's keep on going here. But as he's going on, he's not really listening to the people that he's with anymore. He's just like, Aster's the chosen one. She's the person. She's going to deliver this message to me, and then I'm going to, deliver it to other people, sort of like I will be the person that will deliver it to all, sort of thing. And without Aster, that obviously doesn't happen, right?
Yeah.
So she calls him out on this where she's kind of like, okay, so that's what you want out of this. You want to be like the top dog that delivers the message. Okay, I
Yeah.
get it. That's fine. Whatever. So by the time they get to the end of the episode where Aster's like, yeah, me and Halen, we're going to basically go into the rocks, into this, life form, and we're going to be inside it kind of thing. He decides to make this move where he's like, well, if I can't tell the message, then nobody is going to get the message. I was just like, what? I'm like, you have been sort of the leader of this for all this time where you're like, the message is key. Like, it's important that the message is out there. And even Aster's like, once I get the message, like, I'll tell everybody what the message is. Like, you're going to get the message. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to know. That it just all of a sudden, the this like switch flipped where he was just like, if it's not me, it's nobody. I was just like, what is happening with this character? This character's all over the board.
Yeah, we haven't spent enough time with him to really pay off everything that was going on here, because it's like, yes, you don't get to be the one who sets everybody free with the truth, but you supposedly wanted the truth out there. So is this a case where you wanted the truth out here, and now that it's not going the way in which you wanted or anticipated, that you don't think the truth either is going to be something that you want to hear? I mean, the whole idea of this character is interesting in the first place, because he's asking these big questions about a message without even really knowing what the message is. So he's basically putting his entire belief system into this mysterious concept that stems from these rocks and the artifact, things that nobody seems to really inherently understand. And all these concepts remain interesting. I continue to give Beacon 23 a lot of credit for being so ambitious. I still feel like, for me personally as a viewer, I don't need the full story of the rocks. It would have been nice to know the message. It would be nice to know one more thing that we can sort of ground ourselves in, so that in season 2, I'm like, okay, I know a little bit now. I can sort of see what the aftermath of this is, and the characters can drive the story in addition to the mystery. And it's still like, yes, Aster may be dead. Yes, Bart is gone. But at the same time, I still know very little about the lore that is at the center of the show.
That's okay.
I'm impatient.
But now you're going to tune into season 2 to find out what the message is, because I really want to know what the message is. I mean, like, Kier obviously didn't want to know the message that bad. It seems like, I guess he just wanted that position of power more than anything else. But he really sold me in the episode that it was about the message. He truly believed it. He was like willing to kind of like ignore his crew and like be like, Aster's the person, like she's gonna deliver this message to me, like I'm gonna be able to give it to everybody, like we're all gonna get this message. And by the end it's like, nah, he just wants to be, you know, the king dude, to be like, I have the message, everybody beneath me, kind of. I was like, oh, okay. I needed more time with him. I think I did.
I just feel like this message has to be tied in some way to what's going on here, to Milan, Olive, whatever you want to call him, which, by the way, I understand. If I had the ability to sprout up hair up here, trust me, I would.
I love that he gave himself hair.
I know.
I just about died when he showed up. I'm like, look at your hair. You are able to do anything you want. What is the first thing you do? Give yourself some hair.
I would be like Timothy Chalamet up here. I would just have all the locks all over the place. Like, no, I'm fascinated by certain parts of him, but I also feel like what he is doing is very, very bad for like a million different reasons. And I just wonder if the message is in some way a counter to that there's some sort of like side effect or larger concern that is going on here, or that the message is going to be simply like, you are all going down the road to like I guess I should do it like the rocks are actually speaking here. You're going down the road. Get out of here. You're about to die. Like, I think there is some sort of warning that's going to come from the rocks. Yeah, I thought that
came back.
The Bronx rocks. I understand that it is supposedly a character from Halen's. Like, I still can't get with the rocks being from Goodfellas. I'm sorry, I just can't. But I do wonder if it is like some sort of warning sign that's going to kind of spark like this huge battle at the end of this show. There's got to be something really cool that comes from this message. Otherwise, I'm just going to be annoyed.
That space battle was really cool.
It was cool. Like, there is potential for them to do more of that. I understand that this show at times feels like it was made with like $100. All the money they spent on the set and the actors, and they don't have any money left over. But when they do go that extra level, they do a really good job.
Yeah, they do. And I do like that one of Bart's final acts was helping Halen. Oh, Bart. Man, I'm really going to miss this character. I wish that there was some way that they could bring him back next. I mean, death has to actually mean something in this show. So, like, I'm glad we had him for as long as we did. But, man, what a character.
What a way to go out. Yeah, him helping Halen at the end. And at first, I kind of did wonder, did these 2 episodes do enough for Halen? Just because he's been such a big character the entire season. But then I kind of sat back at it and thought about it. It's like, okay, well, Bart did what he did for Halen. So that's a big evolution in their relationship. Aster was willing to bring in Halen at the end of all of this. And so that is a real testament to their relationship as well. And so I
Mhm.
think the shifts and like the changes for Halen as a character in the finale are a little bit more subtle because he doesn't like have all of the airtime. I think it really shows that this is the person he is. Like he does want to care, at least for some people. He's got some things in the past he's trying to still conquer. I mean, do we still have a full understanding as to why he is there? No, but it was still growth for him.
I was really glad that we saw that Aster really started to remember stuff from her childhood, where she was like, I grew up here. Like
Mhm.
this little ding on Bart, I did that, like going through stuff. It was really nice to see that this sort of came back to her, because it was like, well, where was all of this whole season?
Yeah.
Like, it's nice that it started to kind of come back into play. Like, the thing that I like, by the time we got to the end of this episode where she was really going to bat for Halen, she was like, okay, Olive, well, I will, help you out with some stuff, but what I want is like a full pardon for Halen. I
Mhm.
want I want his freedom. Like, it's all about giving him what he needs. I don't know that I got enough of her connection with Halen for it to get to this point that she's willing to sacrifice everything for him, because she's been set up as a character all season that's like, we saw what she did to Coley. Like,
Yeah.
she knew her for like 10 years and was, with her, and was like,
Mhm.
this is where we got to, now it's over and now you're dead and I've had to kill you. It's just like, okay, well, you've known Halen for even less time, and I know you guys have a connection with the Rocks, and that's gotta be what it is that's brought them together as tight as they are. But I still feel like if we didn't have, almost half of this whole season as flashbacks,
Yeah.
and that they had more time for me to watch these two characters connect in that way, I would have bought more at the end that she's basically willing to sacrifice everything in herself for him.
Yeah, and that kind of comes down to it's either one or two things for me. It's one, this season needed to be more than 8 episodes. Like,
Yes.
I know we are in this climate now where shows are doing smaller and smaller orders, and I know there's another season, but when you do have that much of your show taking place in different timelines, you're not giving yourself a lot of chances to do things in the present. The only other option you have is find a way to cut down on some of those flashback stories, either condense them into one episode or spread more present day stuff in there and let us actually have more time to watch these two characters evolve. Like, this is no offense to the actors who were in the past, like Barbara Hershey was wonderful, but at the same time, a lot of us are there to watch Stefan and Lena. Like, they're the two big names at the start of this. Like, we want to see
Yeah.
their relationship develop.
I think for me, the biggest payoff of moving around through all these timelines was for Bart's death,
Mhm.
really, because he's like the main character of all the timelines. He's in all of them. So by the time we, have gone through and watched his progression with Sophie, with Milan, with Solomon, with Aster, with everybody, that by the time we get to this reveal that Solomon erased all of his
Yeah.
memories and he can't get them back, and he's just not he doesn't feel full anymore. Someone has really did him dirty in a way that he can't go on anymore.
Mhm.
For me, that was like the real payoff of those flashbacks. Like, we got some information, but like, it made it so impactful when he self-destructed.
It was emotional, and it really showed like the long-lasting impact of trauma, and trauma can affect everyone in different ways, even
Yep.
AI. And that's sort of the fascinating thing about this show is how they made AI feel so real. And we've been talking about AI this year for a million different reasons,
Yeah.
most of them not good. And it's just like this was one of the more effective portrayals of it that we've seen.
Yeah.
But now we all just have to sit back, lose our minds, wonder what's going on with these stupid rocks. We're all going to be here until whenever season 2 is going to premiere.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Hit that subscribe button for so much more coverage. A lot of other
Mhm.
shows coming up that Jess mentioned. And thank you so much to our
Thank you.
patrons for your support. We'll see you here next time.